I'm super excited for the possibility of your New York Mets getting back to the championship series and for you to no longer suffer the heartbreak that Mets fans have suffered for so many years. Some would say since 86, some would say since 15, whatever you want to say. This Mets team and their new player, Juan Soto, who came to you for $765 million, who started slowly but is having an MVP year, short of Ohtani, an MVP year. I hope that you are okay. I hope that you're calm. I hope that you didn't watch the Mets lose to the Phillies last night and be in full panic. I hope that you didn't pay attention to the fact that the San Francisco Giants are only 2 games behind you and the Cincinnati Reds are only 3 games behind you because you can't win a game. I hope that you are totally calm with the realization that Sean Manaea should never, ever start a game again for the New York Mets. I hope that you're fine that with the $34 million 2-year deals given to Manaea and Montas, that you recognize that Stevie's got the money to burn, that he might as well have taken the $68 million and put it into his fireplace at one of his residences because that's about what he got from Manaea and Montas. I don't want you to be upset that Manaea allows at least 4 earned runs in 6 of his last 7 starts because he stinks, or that he has an 8.5 ERA, or that the league is hitting 320 when the league doesn't hit 320 off anybody. I don't want you to freak out that your lead is only 2 over the Giants because you're wrong, Scott. It's 3. You have the tiebreaker over the San Francisco Giants, which means the Giants have to beat you by a game at the end of the season. If they're tied with you, you're going to be in the playoffs. Now, you don't want the Reds to catch you because the Reds do own the tiebreaker, but the Reds are 3 games back, which means you've got a 3-game lead over the Giants and the Reds. Here's why I want you to panic. Because the New York Mets end the season against the Miami Marlins in Miami. Because the New York Mets series before that is 3 against the Cubs. Because the New York Mets only have 17 games left and their lead is 3, which should be plenty, except they're the New York Mets. And you can take the owner out of New York. You can change it up, change the manager, change the players. You can do anything you want. And I've argued on this show definitively, clearly, and I think persuasively that players themselves do not view any action of a past team as indicative of a result of the current team. The Mets do not look at the Marlins and say, I'm scared. We're going to lose to them and they're going to knock us out of the playoffs. The players don't think that way. But I can, and you can, and Scott can. And then you can worry about it until it happens. And then as it's happening, if it happens, you get to say, I knew it. You get to have the greatest self-fulfilling prophecy of all time because you're a Mets fan. It's like being a Jets fan. You basically get to say that you're right every single year. It's like confirmation bias galore because you're waiting for bad, and we're in sports where bad happens to just about every team every year. What a crazy thing when your confirmation can be had when you have a 29/30th chance of being right. Those are amazing odds. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about how sure it is when you are a fan and you say, oh, it's not our year, oh, we're stink, oh, we're not going to win, and you have a 29/30th chance of being right, and then when you're right, you say, my God, how brilliant am I? I'm right? It's completely ridiculous what Mets fans do. But if you're Steve Cohen and you're David Stearns, it's time. And I mean right now. You get embarrassed by the Phillies, you still have 2 games left. You're then going to be home for 9. You're then going to end the season with 6 on the road against Chicago and Miami. I'm not a big fan of the all-in team meeting, but I am right now. There are certain times of the year where you have no choice but to sit with your team and see by looking in their eyes what it means. Do they understand the job at hand? The problem is they're going against Christopher Sanchez tonight. You can't have a team meeting when you're about to pitch and play against a guy who really is a Cy Young candidate. You just can't. So they're going to play the Phillies tonight, and there's not going to be any sort of meeting. But tomorrow's game is the last game of the series, and you've got your best pitcher, Peterson, going against Luzardo, who is inconsistent at best. You don't do it Holmes v. Sanchez, but Peterson v. Luzardo, hell yeah. I'm getting my team together at Citizens Bank Park in that clubhouse that's I've spent so many days in. I picture exactly where everyone sits. You stand up in the middle and you have to sort of look around to make sure you have eye contact with each of the players. And you ask them a simple question. Do you guys want it? Because it's right here in front of you. You're being chased. You're not doing the chasing. You control your destiny. You want a chance to be better than what we were last year? Did it feel good to lose to the Dodgers in the NLCS? Were you satisfied because we weren't supposed to be there? Well, guess what? Your fingers are bare. Getting to the championship series, that's not the accomplishment. That's not what we're here for. We're here to win the pennant. We'll worry about the World Series when we get there and getting the big ring. Let's worry about getting the little ring first. To do it, we've got to win the pennant. You know how we win the pennant? By making the playoffs. You think this game against Philly doesn't matter because they've run away with the NL East? That's where you're wrong. We got to make a statement that we ourselves know that we can beat this team, and it gets us home for a 9-game homestand with a positive frame of mind, knowing that if we run the table, we could catch Philly, but running the table sets us up to get what we want in October, and what we want in October is the big ring. Are you in or are you out? Because the way we're playing, the way we looks like you don't give a flying rat's pituitary gland. So get out there and prove me right. That's what I'd be doing.